Put a little personality in the video, a little texture, if you will. An Easter egg, whatever. Next up is Guardians of the Galaxy, and this is one of my favorites. It's somewhere in the top 5 in my favorite MCU movies. And it was released in the summer of 2014, the summer just before my last year of college. And I most recently watched this on December 11th, 2018. I was gonna say, this isn't a review of it, but I just had a blast watching Guardians of the Galaxy, and it was a movie that had so much heart. Different characters and how they all came together. I mean, yeah, there's Avengers, but Guardians of the Galaxy kind of compartmentalized that into a single movie instead of Avengers having to span different movies and then all converging into one. Also, the side note, I'm also watching a lot of Power Rangers and Super Sentai, and my favorite amongst the DC TV universe, the Arrowverse, is Legends of Tomorrow. And you know, having these different characters come together really reminds me of that team dynamic. That, you know, that's something that gives it a lot of heart, in that they really bring out the best in each other. And yeah, I just really enjoyed it. Anyway, on to the quotes and moments. The first one that really stood out to me, and this was before I started doing the series, actually, I think I might have shared this one with my therapist at some point, but it's when Rocket and Drax are in a fight, and Peter Quill is trying to break them up, and he says, he thinks I'm this stupid thing. He does. Well, I didn't ask to get made. I didn't ask to be torn apart and put back together over and over and turned into some little monster. I had dark thoughts, and you know, it's always that thought. I didn't ask to be born. I didn't ask to be put through all this crap. The part where he talks about being torn apart and put back together over and over again, it pertains to a specific experience that I had before. I don't think I'll get into it in this video, just because when I made this series, I kind of wanted to focus on the me right now. Maybe I'll find another time when I can talk about the experience and talk about what this quote means to me in that regards, but right now, I'll just leave it at that. So I'll just read the quotes and moments for now, because this sort of relates to another one in my list. So I'm just gonna read through the quotes and moments right now. So the next part is when I guess the Collector's space blows up, and you know, they're trying to figure out what to do with the Power Stone, and Rocket says to Quill, "What are you, some sort of Saiyan all of a sudden? What has the galaxy ever done for you? Why would you want to save it?" And Peter replies, "Because I'm one of the idiots who lives in it." The next one is when Groot and Rocket rescue Drax from that pool or vat or whatever. And Drax admits that I was a fool. All the anger, all the rage was just to cover my loss. And Rocket replies, "Oh, boo-hoo-hoo, my wife and children are dead." Groot gasps, "Oh, I don't care if it's mean. Everybody's got dead people. It's no excuse to get anyone else dead along the way." And lastly, in Quill's rousing speech to the other Guardians, he says, "Today it's given us something. It's giving us a chance." And Drax asks, that's kind of hard, "To do what?" And he replies, "To give a shit. For once. And not run away." Oh, and my other favorite moment from Guardians of the Galaxy was that opening dance number. It was just such a feel-good scene, and you know, it was just fun to watch and sing along, bob your head, maybe want to do the dance too. And since this was the summer just before my senior year, I had already gone through 10 plus weeks of therapy, because that's all they would allow in like college on for free, essentially. Also, my therapist left for another opportunity, and I had learned to cope. I had developed methods, and I'm not gonna say dancing was one of them, but in that time I sort of learned to let go, and that's what I kind of feel like this scene represents. So I just gotta let go, have fun, smell the flowers, whatever, enjoy life. As pessimistic as I is, just take a breather and just, So first I'll talk about Drax admitting, his Drax issues were just to cover his loss, and Rocket replies, as kind of mean as it is, that it's no excuse for him to bring others with him in that regard. I might have mentioned it before, but in my time when I was just pissed off at the world, I brought others down with me, and I really shouldn't have done that, and I didn't mean to, and I'm sorry, but I wish I didn't. Thinking about it now, it kind of relates to the other two a little more than I think, in that, so the reason why the other two quotes where Quill has to be a good person because he's one of the idiots who lives in it, and the universe is giving him a chance to give a shit, so that this is gonna get existential. We all live in the same world, and that's kind of why I want to do something that has an impact, more of an emotional impact than a practical one. You make these technological advances that changes the world, that can make life easier, that can improve life and things like that. But then on the other end of the spectrum is, you make a difference in someone's life, be it emotionally through something like film, or giving people a chance to bond over something, and those kinds of quotes kind of reaffirm how I feel about wanting to choose a career path that has an impact on people. Because before, I was going to do it to have an impact on their everyday life, to improve quality of life, I guess. But then, not that those things shouldn't be worked on, but I just kind of realized that I guess I want to do more of the emotional, like soul stuff. I guess because of how much heart this movie has, it makes me realize I guess I'm a more emotional person than I care to admit. And that's kind of why I want to do something that has more of that emotional impact. I guess what it's convincing me to do is, as they say at the end of the movie, is are you gonna do something good, you gonna do something bad, or a little bit of both? And I feel like it's kind of telling me a little bit of both. I don't know if that made sense. I'll find out when I edit this.